Very good morning to you. Our top story, 187 flood warnings and almost 291 flood alerts remain in place across England this morning. A severe danger to life warning has also been issued for parts of northern Leicestershire as the UK continues to be battered by bad weather. All parts of the country have seen widespread travel chaos and power cuts. And in places, some children have needed to be rescued after being stranded at school surrounded by flood water. Well, our Alice Porter is here with me to break down the severity of all of this, as she has been for the last couple of days. What's the latest?
Well, this is a very fast-moving situation, and every hour I speak to you, there seems to be a new development. The number of flood warnings has slightly gone down. We're now at 187. That's still more than we had yesterday. So some of those flood warnings from the Environment Agency, they have expired in the last hour, but we've still got, crucially, this severe flood warning in place, and that's in North Leicestershire, and that means that there is a threat to life in the area. And the Environment Agency say they have that in place because they have to do potentially a number of evacuations. We know yesterday 59 people were rescued by emergency services in the area. So this weather's really starting to impact people, community services. We've just had an update that flights have been suspended from Bristol Airport. We're waiting for further news on that. Liverpool Airport has been temporarily closed in order for them to clear snow. We're waiting for an update as to when flights will be resuming there. So it's really impacting some of our major airports in the UK. And we've also heard from East Midlands Ambulance Service that they have declared a critical incident for the first time ever. Now, that won't just be down to what we're seeing with the weather. Of course, there's winter pressures that the NHS has at this time of year, but to have the additional strain that you're going to be having on services because of ambulances not able to get to people in need, fallen trees, high flood water, it's a significant problem in the area.
And just quickly give us a snapshot of the different regional breakdowns. Where is it worst?
The situation in the southeast and the east of England, if we're looking at, say, Newcastle and Hull, it is fine. There's no warnings there in place, unlike yesterday, for example, where there was yellow weather warnings across the whole of the UK. So it's good news for some people in the UK today. It's not such good news for Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, the southwest. They've got those yellow weather warnings in place for snow. But this will develop, and by tomorrow we've got the only yellow weather warning in place for snow is along the south coast. So really everybody across the UK is really being impacted in different ways by this difficult weather.
Alice, great stuff. Thanks so much for that snapshot across the country. Let's dive into Lincolnshire now. Rachel's there for us, as you saw earlier, where, Rachel, there has been significant flooding already.
Yeah, there has, and there was a really serious scene here in Grantham yesterday. I'm stood at the River Witham. Obviously, as you can see now, I'm on the bridge. We're able to get across it, but you can see just how high the water came yesterday. This still fast-moving river, which burst its banks, completely flooding the park here, which surrounds it, and also flooding a number of homes as well. We know that around 20 homes were evacuated, but drone footage from yesterday showed just how far the brown water went, and you could see it flooding people's gardens and spreading out a huge way. If we just turn carefully here, you'll be able to see just how high the river is here. Again, really fast moving and down towards Belton Lane. And these are the houses that we understand were flooded yesterday. This is quite a large residential area. I'm just going to walk now as well so you can see some of the damage that we can pick up, of course, because as the sun comes up, we can really start to see how far the water got and the damage that it was done to this park. There's a children's playground over there, which we've seen and were told was completely submerged yesterday. And also you can see the silt underfoot. It sort of squelches, you can smell it as well. The muck and mud from the water that's been deposited here. It's quite slippy, have to be careful. You can also see piles of branches also that have been deposited here and just the damage. And we've seen a bit of the clean-up and some packing there as well. The polystyrene, which has obviously come in from the river, a bit of muck as well and pollution that's been left. But obviously the crucial part is the homes. 20 homes evacuated here. We know more than 60 had to be evacuated with floodwaters getting into the properties around Lincolnshire. A major incident declared in this county and in Leicestershire as well. And of course now it's for people to try to work out what damage has been done as we fear for more flood warnings, of course, more flood alerts. As you can see now, of course, it is dry. It's a really crisp morning. It's very cold. And that was also the fear as well, that snow and ice would turn some of this flood water water into ice and make it really quite dangerous. For now, this doesn't seem to be too bad, but of course the damage for those people whose homes were flooded, uncalculable at this point. But at the moment, as you can see, it's just about the damage and the water receding here at this particular part in Grantham.